Sunday morning football, national education policy, and police insignias. Can you see a connection between all the three? I guess no. Let's dig into it. During my school days in Mumbai, every Sunday, me and my classmates used to go out for a game of football. Everybody used to be there, except for my Sikh friends. And what was surprising was, these Sikh friends of mine never missed a game of football. But on weekends, on Sundays, they never used to be there. Other days of the week, every evening, they used to be there. Very diligently, very religiously, they used to be there for the game. But Sundays, they were never there. So once it so happened that I asked them, like, "Bhai, what do you do on Sundays? Why is it that you guys never show up for a game of football on Sunday morning?" Now one of them said, "Sunday is a day we go for Seva." At that time, I didn't bother too much about the word Seva. But later when I heard the same word in the national education policy, the word rang a bell. And when I dug deeper, I realized these friends of mine, every Sunday, these Sikh friends of mine, every Sunday, they used to go to the Gurudwara along with the family to do Seva. Seva in common language, Seva is a common normal word, and Seva in English means service. And over a period of time, Seva as a word has acquired multiple meanings. One meaning is like Seva is service. The other meaning is like among friends. When they use the word Seva, Pani, it means like helping each other, or can we go and eat, or something like that. Oh, suppose if somebody uses the word Seva Pani in government offices, it has a little bit of a negative meaning. But we are not here to discuss the meaning of the word Seva. We are here to discuss Seva as a value. And in this video, I'll be talking about Seva from a value perspective. And we'll be exploring Seva from two perspectives, as a human value and as a public service value. That's what we'll be doing today. As I said earlier, I'll not be discussing the meaning of the word Seva. I'll be looking at the word Seva from a very values perspective. And I'll be borrowing a lot from the new national education policy, which was announced in the year 2020. The educational policy talks about Indian values and human values, along with constitutional values. But what interests me is they have mentioned these basic human values of Seva, Satya, Ahimsa, Tyag, Nishkam Karm. And among all these values, today I'll be picking on Seva as an essential value. And I'll be outlining the basic features of Seva. What exactly is Seva all about? Now, in this video, I'll start first by discussing and elaborating on Seva as a human value. That is, Seva from a perspective of serving humanity. Then I shift to understanding Seva from public service perspective. When I say public service perspective, if you see all the designations, like for example IAS, which says Indian Administrative Service. In Hindi, it's called Bharatiya Prashashanik Seva. So I will be talking about Seva from public service perspective. So these are two things we'll be exploring. Seva as a human value. Now let's come down to the meaning of the word Seva as I'm going to use in this session. Dictionary of Indian Philosophy defines Seva as a service, selfless service, or work performed with an attitude of non-attachment to the fruits of one's labor. This is how Seva is defined. In Indian ethics and from an Indian values perspective, love was always seen as a foundational value. And it is love which acts as a foundation for caring, for being empathetic, for being compassionate. So love is the foundational value. And Seva is the ultimate expression of love. Seva is an expression of love for humanity. That's why Seva is considered as an actionable value. Because Seva is an expression where you actually show your love, compassion, empathy, caring for humanity. That's how in Indian ethics, we always consider love as a foundational value and seva as an actionable value. And if one really wants to see seva in action, one just has to visit a Gurudwara. I'm sure a lot of you here must have gone to Gurudwara. Next time when you go to Gurudwara, just notice this. There'll be somebody there to collect your footwear. And when you visit the Gurudwara, when you step out, sometimes you'll notice that they must have cleaned up your footwear and giving it to you. And you know who the person who collects and cleans up the footwear, these are all volunteers. What are they doing? They're doing seva. And next time when you go to Gurudwara, you should visit a Langar. And Langar is an ultimate expression of seva. When you go to Langar, what you'll notice is there's somebody who's serving food to you. You don't even know who made that food. You don't even know who cut the vegetables. Oh, by the way, you'll not even know who's going to wash your utensils. That is what Langar is all about. An ultimate expression of love. Ultimate expression of serving humanity. That's how we look at seva. That's why I just said seva is an actionable value. And the action here is to serve humanity, to show your compassionate side, to look at the other human as yourself. You see the other person as one of yourself. Even the person may be stranger, it's fine, but you see the other person as one of you. That's what a seva is all about. That's why I just said seva is an ultimate expression of love and compassion. When we look at seva as a human value, you'll notice that it has two dimensions. One, it has to be impersonal. Second, it has to be selfless, without motives. When I say impersonal, that means you're serving the other person irrespective of the person's caste, creed, color, religion, whatever it is. Without any biases, without judging the person. You're just serving. That's what Mahatma Gandhi said, oneness. We're all one. We're all the same. And to use Kabir's words, the river that flows in you also flows in me. This captures the essence of seva. We're all the same. We're all humans here. So that's why it says impersonal. You have to serve the other person irrespective of other person's affiliations. That's the first element of seva. The second element of seva is selflessness. You selflessly serve the other person because you see the other person as an extension of you. That's the second aspect of seva, selflessness. Let's look at seva from a larger perspective. Very recently, we had an earthquake in Turkey. And the moment we in India got to know about the earthquake, Government of India immediately dispatched something called humanitarian aid. The key word is humanitarian, human. And seva is that only. The moment you see a human being in distress, you're motivated to help them. This is what we call seva bhav. That is, you want to serve a human being. And the seva bhav is something that makes us uniquely human. Seva as a public service value. I don't know how many of you have seen police insignias very carefully. Next time, do me a favor. Next time when you see a police constable in the street or a traffic constable in the traffic intersection, just look at the police insignias very carefully. And when you look at the police insignias very carefully, there'll be a small value statement mentioned. For example, when you look at Delhi police insignia, you will see 3 values mentioned: Seva, Shanti, Nyay. When you look at Jharkhand police's insignia, you'll carefully notice at the top of it is written Seva hi Lakshya. That is, service is my goal. Policing is a state subject. That's why every police insignia will carry the motto of that police force. And seva is a very big motto of police forces. Almost 12 to 13 police insignias in India have the value of seva mentioned. Next time, look at it very carefully. Now here we'll explore Seva from public service perspective. Seva from public service perspective implies, firstly, a commitment to serve the citizens selflessly and impartially, and secondly, dedication to duty or doing one's duty for duty's sake, not for rewards or recognition. And the second one is also called as service orientation. And by the way, there was a question on service orientation civil service exams. It was a short note. Nevertheless, service orientation is the second one. Seva as service orientation. From a public service perspective, the word seva or the value of seva implies an uncompromising dedication to duty. Yes, you heard me right. Uncompromising dedication to duty. Let me introduce you to Seema Dhaka, a constable from Samaypur Badli, a Delhi police constable from Samaypur Badli. In the year 2020, Delhi police introduced a scheme offering out-of-turn promotions to constables who rescue kidnapped victims or missing children. And the idea here was to motivate the constables, motivate the police force. And the deal was very simple. The deal was, if a police constable is able to rescue 50 kids in one calendar year, they'll be given an out-of-turn promotion. Now, Seema Dhaka, this police constable rescued not 50, 76 missing children in one calendar year, not in one calendar year, within 3 months. He set a kind of a record. Now, that's the kind of dedication I'm talking about. That's the kind of non-compromising dedication duty I'm talking about. And Seema Dhaka was a perfect example of the value of seva, which is mentioned in Delhi police motto itself, Seva, Shanti, Nyay. She symbolized the value of seva. That's the first part of public service value. Seva as dedication duty, seva as service orientation. From a public service perspective, we just explored seva from dedication duty perspective or service orientation. But there's one more element of seva, and that element is selfless nature of the act. Achha, when we say selflessness, that also implies an element of sacrifice. And any act of public service will involve an element of sacrifice. For example, let's meet Keerthi. She was a DC, Deputy Commissioner of Kachhar district during floods. In May 2022, Kachhar in Assam was ravaged by floods. And Keerthi made a point to visit villages during this flood. And she went walking through the mud. Now that's a sacrifice I'm talking about. She was willing to face the discomfort. She was willing to take that extra step to ensure the safety of the villagers. Now that is the second element of seva. Selflessness, the element of sacrifice. So when you look at both the cases, when you look at Seema's case as well as Keerthi's case, what you'll notice is a selfless commitment to serve and a dedication to cause of service. This is what seva is from public service. Let me give you a recap. We just explored the value of seva from two perspectives. One, the human value perspective, where the idea was to serve humanity, where the essence was oneness, togetherness. The other was public service perspective, where seva implied a commitment to duty, a selfless commitment to duty, and at the same time, seva from a spirit of sacrifice. If you look at the case of Seema and Keerthi, that's what you must have noticed. A commitment, a sense of selflessness, a sense of sacrifice. That's what seva is all about. And from this area, we had a question earlier. And the question was, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Mahatma Gandhi, 2020. There was one more question, which was a 50-word question. And the question was spirit of service. This was asked in 2013 and 2017. Short 50-word question. And I'm sure you should be able to write an answer for these too. Before I close, I have a small request. The request is, today I narrated two inspiring cases. One a police constable, Seema, and other one a deputy commissioner, Keerthi. And the request is simple. The request is, in case if you come across such inspiring cases of good work being done by public servants, please mention them in the comments. I'm sure you can do that much. See you soon. Thank you.